if you're the Chicago Bears right now, how do you make yourselves legit Super Bowl contenders if you believe Trubisky is the guy, which they obviously do? While he's on that rookie deal, get pushed over the top. Khalil Mack, like show me everyone who's available in the NFL right now. Who was available that could have gotten them closer to the promised land, just himself, than Khalil Mack? They pushed their chips to the middle of the table. He's worth the money.
Listen, I'm saying they pushed their chips to the middle of the table. I can agree with that. I don't want to hear that he deserved this contract. Khalil Mack is big time. He's a baller. I'm certainly not poo-pooing any of his money. I'm proud of the brother. I'm happy for him. He deserves to get paid. But the question is as to whether or not he deserves this contract, meaning the highest paid defensive player in all of football. I'm not sure I'm co-signing with that. Now, the Bears were 10th. 10th defensively in terms of yards allowed and in terms of 9th instead of points. And I get all of that. So, and one of their biggest needs was getting an edge rusher, somebody to get to the quarterback, because obviously you can now become a top 5 defense. So I can understand the investment in him. But when I think Khalil Mack, and I think highest paid player in football, I'm thinking a shutdown corner that shut down one complete side of the field. I'm thinking about a Lawrence Taylor caliber linebacker. I'm thinking about those guys. And so when I look at Khalil Mack, even though I know how big time he is, I'm looking at the Raiders with them last year. I'm looking at how porous the Raiders defense was. It wasn't his fault. It's just a question as to how much can he do.
Who's close? Look, there's only one LT, but who is closer in this NFL right now to LT than Khalil Mack?
There's nobody that's closer, but that doesn't mean he deserves to be the highest paid player in all of football, because the way the game is constructed in this particular day and age, you've got to question the kind of impact a guy at his position could have. For example, when we look at quarterbacks and we're willing to dole out dollars to a quarterback, for example, why? It's not just because you're a bad man like Aaron Rodgers. It's because of the actual position that you're playing, and because of that position and the residual impact we anticipate you'll have as a result, that says, okay, I got to pay this brother the money. That's why we see other guys that don't deserve it. That's why a guy like Chase Daniels, for example, or others have pocketed millions of dollars and they haven't done a damn thing. Why? Because at the quarterback position, even if you're a backup, we got to make sure that situation is taken care of. I'm looking at Khalil Mack, and all I'm saying is, when I think about Khalil Mack, he's big time, he's needed. I'm happy he got his money. He deserves it. But the highest paid player of defensive player in all of football, I don't know about that.
One thing has not changed much in the NFL. The quarterback position continues to become more important, right? That's why they get all that money. Because there's a salary cap. That means Khalil Mack, boy, he had to reset the market so other players can get paid. That's not true. He's resetting the market so other defensive players get paid. Because if the defensive end gets paid more now, that means some position gets paid less. There's a finite amount of money. So why is defensive end value? Precisely because of the point you're making. Quarterbacks are more value. So their protection on the line, especially the blind side, is more valued. So the guy who goes to get the quarterback is more valued. There's other than quarterback, what position is more important on the field?
I just told you
than the guy who's coming to get him?
I just told you, for me personally,
then it's that shutdown corner.
You know why? Because, in other words, they could sit up there, they could key in on you. If you've got inferior guys, you got to think about what we're talking about here with the Chicago Bears. We're talking about individuals. You've got like 8 interceptions over the last 2 years. Nobody's had more than 2 interceptions combined over the last 2 years for their defense. Their defense, as solid as they are, they've been devoid of any all-pro. So what I'm saying is, you got good players, but not necessarily great ones. So if I'm able to key if I'm able to key in on this great one, you hope that others will be able to step up. But what I'm saying is, that particular player could potentially be neutralized. Whereas if you were a shutdown corner who had the ability to shut down an entire side of the field, that helps you more, in my opinion.
In the NFL right now who we will remember? Who are the ones who are going to be first ballot Hall of Famers? Tom Brady and Aaron Rodgers and Drew Brees, right? Okay. Obviously. And then a couple other guys, maybe, that we're going to remember through time. Antonio Brown already. Maybe Odell Beckham if things work out. Julio Jones, right? Aaron Donald, it was J.J. Watt. And Khalil Mack. He is one. You can count on 2 hands the number of players who are going to be first ballot Hall of Famers.
Stop talking like I'm saying the brother doesn't deserve to get paid or he's some scrub. I'm acknowledging his elite stature. I'm just saying, the overall, the highest paid defensive player in history?
Because he's the latest to get paid.
I'm saying, if it's that simple, fine. But if you're going to make the argument that his talent and his position warrants that, it's a different problem.
The Bears won the trade because they're the team that got Khalil Mack. Furthermore, if they're right, And if the Bears are right, and Trubisky is the guy, and the top 10 defense becomes a top 5 defense, and they make a run, those first-round picks that they traded are more like they're low first-round, high second-round type picks, right? That's the kind of player you get. But they also, don't forget, as part of the deal, swapped a third for a second. And if, in fact, those turn out to be good picks, then all of a sudden, it's like a high second-round pick, low first-round pick again. So you almost negated one of your first-round picks that you received. It's almost like you moved up and around a little bit and got a first-round pick for Khalil Mack. And that first-round pick is probably not going to be a Hall of Fame player.
Well, absolutely. And to put it simply, is that this is it. You got Akeem. You got this kid Akeem Hicks. He can ball. We all get that, and we see that their defense is a top 10 defense. So Khalil Mack can ultimately elevate it to top 5 if he can get to the passer. We get all of that. You give up 2 first-round picks. First of all, if you're better, those first-round picks aren't going to be as formidable as they would have been if you were a scrub team outside of the postseason picture. So it's going to be real interesting to see what that's about. And I can't wait until we get into the subject of John Gruden.